It is 12 noon. We start hour number 3 on this historic Reaction Monday. Alabama, they lose the SEC championship game, but they get the big prize. The big prize is a trip to Norman, Oklahoma in the college football playoff as a 9 seed. If they beat Oklahoma, it'll be off to the Rose Bowl, taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. Be interesting to hear from our listeners whether they are going to make the trek to Norman, Oklahoma. And before anybody asks, Conrad will not be in attendance like he was last year for the shellacking that Alabama took on the road. Spent a lot of time kind of going over the bracket, going over the controversy involved in which Notre Dame was left out. And not only was Notre Dame left out of the college football playoff, but their athletics director and Marcus Freeman, they decided to tuck tail and run away from a bowl game. Did not want to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Don't know why, but they decided against playing it. So this morning on the Dan Patrick radio show, Pete Bavacqua, who announced earlier this morning that he's going to have a press conference, which I'm sure he's going to continue to bitch and complain about Notre Dame getting screwed out of the college football playoff. He was on the Dan Patrick show, and he takes a shot at his scheduling partner, the ACC.
Well, I would tell you, again, I have tremendous respect for Miami. Great team, great school. Their athletic director, Dan Radakovich, is a good friend, and all the teams in the ACC. Great, wonderful universities. We have no gripes about any of the schools in the ACC. But we were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest, really, business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. And I would tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
All right, so let's digest that for a second. What do you think that means when he says they have done permanent damage with our relationship? What does that mean?
This is they feel like that they've been betrayed, that they were a partner, and that they picked a favorite. And the favorite child was Miami, and Notre Dame's never going to forget this. They'll never be forgiven for this. I think Notre Dame also views their place in the ACC as they're helping the ACC as opposed to the other way.
Yes, I think you hit the nail on the head. They view themselves as the ACC needs them more than they need the ACC, which isn't a surprising take that they have that. But again, I just go back to, why would you not just join the conference? Are you that surprised that they're advocating for the football member of their conference, Miami, and not you? I will say I think that statement by him, though, is his insinuating a threat that maybe we're going to pull out of the ACC and the other 24 sports we compete with them in.
The conference is so big now, who cares? It's not like they've got 11 and they need them to make 12.
Well, and it's not like, do they have an elite basketball program? No, it's not like you're losing
the
top
lacrosse
competitor. Exactly. You lose lacrosse. Not a great baseball program, not a great basketball program. You lose them in lacrosse and women's basketball. That's what they offer.
But you picked up Stanford, which should help you in those sports.
Yeah, you're great in all those sports. You got a lot of great school, Olympic sports, all that stuff, you have that taken care of.
But no, I'm just curious because him having this press conference tomorrow, he's gone on a national radio show. It's the hottest viral clip this morning in college football, is what he said. Is this kind of a precursor to a bigger announcement tomorrow?
That they're joining a different conference?
No, I'm not saying they're joining another conference.
Anything.
I think that
we're done playing football in the ACC.
Yeah, we're done. Like, wow, this relationship is not a two-way street.
They don't announce the other sports. I don't think that happens. But I think football, this loose alliance. No, we're not doing this anymore. You burn the bridge.
Because here's the thing: they have got the leverage of the following. If they wanted to be in a conference, and they told the ACC to get screwed, the Big Ten would be on line one. The SEC would be on line two. They've got options.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I agree with Landrum. I think this is potentially setting up for them basically saying that what they did to us this year, it cannot be repaired. Irreconcilable differences, we're done.
Well,
we're not doing this football thing anymore. And I know we've got contracts or whatever. We've got lawyers. Y'all got lawyers. y'all got into a what match with Clemson and Florida State, and they all agreed to disagree. So Notre Dame's not worried about a lawsuit.
No. And the wagon that you hitched to with the ACC, and I understand the premise of why they started doing it, but that was the wrong conference to hitch the wagon to. So now if I'm Notre Dame, you're probably doing yourself a favor by severing that tie, the loose affiliation in football. Do you go? Is there another conference that would be open
to that affiliation? Maybe the Big 12.
I was about to say, so you're going to go from the ACC to the Big 12, which I guess it's a step up, but
I don't know. I think
we still would have had the BYU Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Conversation, but maybe it would have been a little more cut and dry.
We beat UCF instead of Stanford.
There's a few more wine and cheese crowds in the ACC than the Big 12. A little different.
Which is where they feel at home, Notre Dame, in the wine and cheese crowd.
Well, we all agree. I mean, they should be in the Big 10. I mean,
yeah, it makes more sense than the SEC. Absolutely.
But that's why I'm just curious.
And then you're helping the Big 10. Because what are we saying about the Big 10? So top heavy. Add one more.
But then maybe they'd have to actually play each other. And I'm okay. I'm a fan of that. Let's see those games. If you're Notre Dame, it seems like the only win you could have here is what y'all are saying is, we're done with the ACC. Thanks, but we're moving on. And then what do? You get on the phone with SEC and Big Ten schools and you go, you know what? We're going to challenge ourselves. Let's go out there and schedule. We can make our own schedule. Let's actually go and play teams so we can build a resume worthy of the college football playoff, even without playing in a conference championship game. But they're not going to do that.
We got a snapshot of it. Enjoyed that Notre Dame Texas A&M game. I thought, as far as start to finish and the way that the game went,
maybe the best game all year.
One of the best games we've seen this year.
No doubt.
So yesterday, Bavakwa, who is the athletics director, he said the following: "We love being an independent in football. It's part of our DNA. We have zero intention of changing that. It's part of what Notre Dame is. Quite frankly, this further cements our independence. We are out there fighting for ourselves. That's something we accept." End of quote.
Well, yeah, that's what you wanted. It's the idea of, well, we're mad at the ACC for not advocating for us. You chose to advocate for yourself. You wanted this.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten to have their cake and eat it too for a long time, and the first time they don't, you see their true colors.
But again, all of us agreed that we would have no problem with Notre Dame being in the 12-team playoff.
No, it's not. It's not a situation where
they're not worthy of being in with some of these other teams. I think it would be very interesting and compelling to watch this Notre Dame team compete. It's how did we get here? I'm not talking about the playoff committee and what Hunter Yurachek said. How did we get here, Notre Dame? Why is this an issue today? Well, this is the bed that you've chosen to lie in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
that's why I think you're seeing a lot of people. There's not a lot of sympathy out there. You did this to yourself. You have to. There are consequences to your. Believe it or not, even Notre Dame, there are consequences to your.
So
decisions.
Here's the thing. And I know there's a lot of people that have issues with bowl games. They're jokes. Whatever. I mean, basically, they're made for television events that ESPN owns the majority of all the bowls, and they need December programming. And you know what? They get a lot of viewers. They do really well in the television ratings for the bowls. But here's the thing. By Notre Dame deciding not to play in a bowl game, and then you had Iowa State decide not to play in a bowl game, you had Kansas State decide to not play in a bowl game, then all of a sudden that trickles down. And because of that, then you're trying to pull 5 and 7 football teams to play in bowl games. And I'm just going to talk about the one in our own backyard, because as of last night until about 9:30, Birmingham did not have 2 teams lined up to play in the bowl game.
It became a running joke with the national talking heads on social media.
Right. Show up at Protective Stadium playing a bowl game.
Alert. If you're looking to play a bowl game.
Yes. It was a joke. And the reason why it became a running joke is because you had teams like Notre Dame and you had Iowa State and Kansas State who have a contract with the conference. The conference has a contract with the bowl games to put teams in those bowl games. That's why Kansas State and Iowa State, they were fined $500,000 by the conference yesterday by not accepting their bowl bids. I mean, it's trickle-down economics that all of a sudden the rest of these bowls, they get hammered and then it's not a good television product. I mean, it's a cycle here.
And don't blame the 5 and 7 programs for saying no, because a lot of them, the reasons being that what does that roster even look like at this point? Some of those you've cleared out your coaching staff. Are they still hanging around? Is the staff coming back for another year?
Those kids are back home for Christmas break.
Legitimately, what is your roster? What are they doing right now? You're going to call them back in for workouts? All right, how many guys we got? Oh, yeah, that's right. We got 3 guys that have decided they don't want to play in this game because they're immediately going to school X in the transfer portal. It's just really tough.
Well, I will say this, and I respectfully disagree with you and Conrad, because if you sign up to play football and your team has an opportunity to play football, you go play football. I'll take you back to 2021. LSU had 39 players, 39 scheduled to go play a bowl game. This is what they said.
Shoot, we fighting Tigers, man. We ain't about to back down from nobody. It don't matter if we don't have, if we got 11, we go and play. That's our mindset. If we got 11, we go and play.
That's why you should have deals with these players where we pay you for the entire season. And if we decide that we're going to go play, you're going to be there to play or you're not getting paid.
Well, and on top of, I agree. I want people to play in bowl games. I wasn't advocating for people to get out of bowl games, but
my whole thing is I don't think you have a bunch of 5 and 7 teams waiting around asking their guys, hey, you guys hang on. Hopefully we get that phone call, that random phone call on that Sunday asking us to play in Birmingham.
So how do you think Mississippi State decided to play?
I don't know. They had enough guys.
Or did Auburn have a situation where Cam Coleman said, I'm not playing in a stupid bowl game?
Well, okay, and so my argument for a team like Auburn would be maybe it's not even the bowl game itself that matters that much, but what is it? It's the 15 practices you get before that. That's where I think a lot of these teams, maybe you're losing sight of that. Maybe you don't want to go play in a bowl game, but I think that experience you can get is invaluable. I mean, think about a guy like Alex Golish. What better way to assess the roster and the players you want to retain than by actually going out there and watching them yourself? I know you've watched the film, but I think that's where a lot of value gets lost is that extra time you have to evaluate your rosters.
No, and I agree with both of you on that. It's just a balancing act. I'm not just talking about Auburn specifically, but then you're trying to get to know your team, retention, working on that, recruiting.
It's a lot. Yeah.
How much of that are you going to be able to balance? Because the coaches complain about the schedule anyways. Are you almost benefiting by not having to play in one of those bowl games and taking care of things there at the football ops building? I don't know. There's just several different ways. I was just throwing out some of the 5 and 7s. Just think about what their roster makeup could look at.
It's maybe not realistic to expect them to be able to compete.
I mean, who do they have to throw out there? And if that coach, like next year, is his year where he's really on the hot seat, do you want to trot that 5 and 7, half of that roster out?
In case you get blown out, just the optics of it are bad. Yeah, I got that.
You want everybody to forget about what just happened.
Fair.
Well, I mean, not to mention the fact, I mean, we all realize that the Bulls are in trouble anyway. They've been in trouble.
Yes.
And so, this just kind of amplifies the issues that you have. Well,
the cool thing is I've never seen App State play a football game in person. So that's like a Brett Norsworthy checklist.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask Brett if Brett's seen App State play. Maybe he can.
I've seen Georgia Southern.
Maybe he can come down for the game. I just hate it for Birmingham because there's some really good people that work very hard.
And they make it such a cool experience.
It's great.
They do a great job.
In a fantastic facility. And now you've got a Sun Belt Conference game.
Well, I don't want the game, the city, to take a bad rap because of this particular situation. Because think about the game we had just last year. We have Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt.
My goodness.
2 teams that were in the college football playoff conversation this year.
No, because you'll have look how few people are in Protective Stadium for the bowl game. It's not their fault.
I say we pack it out. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Giddy up.
Get ready
who are you pulling for?
That's right.
Who are you pulling for? You going App State or going Georgia Southern?
App State. They got a cool campus.
I told you that Statesboro, those home games, that's underrated.
Boone, North Carolina, beautiful place.
I was about to say their campus is beautiful.
Statesboro on a Saturday is pretty. They got that bus, the mixed drink bus there in the end zone.
We will continue on. We'll get to your phone calls. Plenty of your text messages on this Reaction Monday. Alex Golish will meet with the media at 1. We will carry those comments live here on Jocks. 12:18 on this Reaction Monday. The Tide and the Sooners will be the third time the last 13 months that the two teams have knocked heads against each other. This time it will be in Norman in the college football playoff a week from Friday.
I've got a great Christmas gift for you guys. Had somebody ask me over the weekend, Mandu, tell me more about it. Thinking about it for myself, thinking about it for my wife. And I told him, Mandu is great. It's electrical muscle simulation fitness, conveniently located there in downtown Homewood with the EMS, the electrical muscle stimulation fitness. It's a 15-minute workout that you go through because of that technology, and the electric currents are going to go to different muscle groups. They work you hard for that 15 minutes, but it's the equivalent to 6 hours in a gym. I've gotten results. You'll get results as well if you stick with Mandu. Your first visit, free. They'll put you in the suit. They'll put you through the workout. It sounds crazy right now if this is your first exposure to Mandu. It won't. It will all make sense when you get there, and you got a friendly staff there in Homewood to take care of you. Mandu in downtown Homewood, MANDUU.com. First visit is free. Great time to do it, just in time for the holidays, and make sure you tell them Landrum from Jock sent you.
So instead of Notre Dame and Pete Bavacqua getting pissed off at a bowl game, why don't you get ticked off and get in a room and fix the college football playoff? Remember, they keep kicking the can down the road?
Yep.
We don't even know what it's going to look like next year. We might be in the same situation next year as we were this year.
By the way, what I wanted more than anything from the committee this year, I wanted more transparency. Looking back on it, in retrospect, I think maybe I would have been better off without the transparency we got from Hunter Yurchek.
It was just all over the place.
I think everybody would have been better off.
Yeah, so we're sitting here arguing about Miami, Alabama, and Notre Dame, and you're overlooking that two group of 5 schools are occupying the spots that have zero business playing in this year's college football playoff. Tulane lost 45-10 to Ole Miss. James Madison only played one Power 4 school, and they lost that game by 14 points. But meanwhile, we prop up those two schools, and you don't have a BYU and a Notre Dame playing in this tournament. So instead of Pete Bavacqua getting mad at the bowl system, why don't you get mad at the fact that you guys, and I include him because you got all the conference commissioners and him in a room to fix the college football playoff. We don't even know what it's going to look like next year. No clue.
And that's something that I was thinking about, was maybe that will prompt change. Now, I know with the deal that they have in place, but something like this happening to Notre Dame, because my whole thing is we have such a problem with it, but nobody ever takes them to task. I'm not talking about the media or fans. I'm saying the decision makers in college football. They have not been forced to change. Would this possibly stir a little bit of change with that group? They're mad right now, but I think Notre Dame has to take a long, hard look, this being the first time, and it could be multiple times if we stay with the 12-team playoff and we have this scenario that Notre Dame gets left out. They feel like they got cheated. Notre Dame, they swing a big stick. People are going to listen. Maybe this is what kind of moves them in that direction and trying to get some sort of normalcy when it comes to looking at resumes at the end of every year. Because I don't want to go through this every year, just doing what we do and talking about Notre Dame. I would just assume them be like everyone else and play by the same set of standards.
What's the old saying? A bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush?
Yeah.
Isn't that the old saying?
That sounds right.
Well, you think about the college football playoff.
It's a saying,
I
Conrad.
was about to say, I haven't heard that one before.
You've never heard that?
A bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush.
Yeah, I don't know what it means,
I
but
haven't
okay.
either.
Can you explain that to me?
What you have as opposed to.
What you potentially could have.
Gotcha. I
You've
thought it was
got-
about
you
there
got-
being something in the bush that would hurt you more than the bird.
No.
That's where my mind went. I was like, oh, so do you want to deal with the bird?
Bird
or
in the
put your
hand is better than the 2 vipers in the bush.
That's
I
kind
understand.
of what I thought.
That's what that meant.
Okay, now I get
He's
it.
so smart, but some things just.
And the text,
Right over the head.
The text I'm already
Yep.
getting about you two, about not understanding that, is hilarious. But
Conrad
anyway,
was going dirty. I saw him.
the point of me bringing up that fact is that we had an opportunity to give the SEC and the Big Ten automatic berths, right?
Yeah.
But remember, everybody else was kicking and screaming, saying, "Oh no, we can't give the SEC. We can't give them 4 automatic bids. How many teams did we get in this year? 5. So you could have taken the deal. SEC gets the 4. Now there could obviously Bama could have been a at-large team, outside the qualifying or whatever the case may be.
But you'd have Miami and Duke in there.
Exactly.
You'd have Texas Tech and BYU in there.
So you take the deal, but instead they wanted to roll the dice. They wanted to roll the dice to see what came up, and so now it looks really good. Also keep in mind that if you make the college football playoff, you get $4 million. Now that goes to your conference. Then the conference disseminates it amongst the member institutions.
Unless you're Notre Dame.
Or Clemson or Florida State, right? Don't they get something with their settlement?
Oh, would they get more?
The conference? They get a little bit more if they make it. Anyways, go ahead.
If you advance to the quarterfinals, that's another $4 million. If you make it to the semifinals, that's $6 million. And if you make it to the title game, that's another $6 million for your conference. So as of this moment, the SEC guaranteed $20 million right now. Right now. And you're at least going to get, for a fact, 2 teams in the next round because Georgia's already there and the winner of Oklahoma and Alabama will automatically move on. So you got a minimum of 2.
And let's be honest, Ole Miss is going to be Tulane. So,
correct. So that would be 3. Texas A&M beats Miami.
So we're what? We're
you're at $20 million now before any games are played.
$20 million before, but with the head-to-head that we're going to get, would that give us?
We're at 28 guaranteed, I guess.
28
guaranteed.
28 guaranteed. Now, 3 Big Ten teams, they're currently at $12 million. And then you got Big 12, ACC, and the American and Sun Belt. Each one of those conferences currently has $4 million a piece. So, but yeah, the SEC, a cool $20 million right now without playing a game.
800-239-WJOX. Slots your phone calls on this Reaction Monday. Let's go to AJ. Hey, AJ, welcome in.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Not what I was calling about, but the Notre Dame thing. I've always been amazed how if you're a conference and you let them play in your basketball and your baseball and your softball and your Olympic sport leagues and then just kind of agree to let them off the hook on the football deal for a few games, all it would take is all 4 conferences to say, we're not playing you in any sport unless you pick one, and they'd be in because they'd have nobody to play. They can have they can be as independent as they want, have NBC, and broadcast. Somebody's got to be on the other side of the field. So, I mean, that's all it would take, and it'd be problem solved. They'd be in a conference. But I guess they can't work together on that. But what I actually called about, Pat, the deal with Tulane and JMU in the playoff, right? They can't win a national championship. Agree?
Correct.
Okay. Can you think of any 16 seed that has ever realistically had a chance to win the national championship in basketball?
No, but they've been able to make enough noise. But no, they do not.
I would argue if we kept doing this, there'll eventually be some 11 or 12 seed that'll beat the 5. It'll happen, just like in basketball. So, and I'm not saying that I do or don't, but I'm just saying the point of the letting them in is the quote unquote everybody has a shot. I mean, so you can go play football at UAB and you theoretically can win a national championship. Like you can go play basketball at Fairleigh Dickinson and theoretically you can win a national championship. That's what you get by doing that. Now, is that the right thing to do? I don't know, but in doing it, it prevents this. Every so often you get a Central Florida team like we had in 2017 that, is undefeated and they may have been really, really good. And then they go win a bowl game against, Auburn, I think it was that year. But, and they kind of, they kind of hold it over your head. I know they claim the national championship or whatever, but that's what this prevents. So is it worth it? You obviously don't think it is. I would say I like it. I mean, it's kind of like what Coach Clark was saying. Everybody, in theory, has a chance, even though in reality we know they can't, which is not much different than the 16 through the realistically probably 16 through the 10 seeds. I mean,
okay. So let me and listen. I don't, I value your opinion. I appreciate you calling. I'm just curious. Would you rather roll the dice in that type of situation, and maybe the group of five gets lucky every blue moon and makes a little noise in the college football playoff, or you have the opportunity to have your own championship that would be able to provide you and your players not only a conference championship, but maybe a national championship as opposed to the other.
And then you build in what the college football playoff has done with the participants and the money. You have a money pool, the conference, the teams, whatever, how you work it out, where you're financially incentivized, and it's maybe more than $4 million and what that looks like. It's not like it's going to deter players this day and age with the transfer portal and NIL. AJ, it's not going to deter players from going, well, I'm not going to go play there because I don't have a chance to go and compete for a national title on the Power Four stage. These guys know that. A lot of them, they're working to get to the Power Four. They come to the realization they're not going to play there. I think a separate, if you could do it, I think it would be watched, and I think it would end up behooving these non-Power Four programs even more financially.
Well, that's a fair point, and one that remains to be seen. I question, would it benefit them more financially? Would anybody watch? Would anybody go? Maybe they would. Maybe it'd actually be better. You guys have the perfect. I mean, Coach Clark's the perfect guy to ask. You know, when he was at UAB, what would he rather do? If he wins, it's not Conference USA, whatever, the American, he wins whatever it is, and he's got a bad team, a really good team. Does he want to go try to beat the Georgia Bulldogs, or does he want to go try to beat whoever, Memphis and Tulsa and whoever, and try to win some kind of championship? I don't know the answer to that. What would he say? Have you guys ever asked him that?
Well, first off, Coach Clark is a competitor. I mean, Coach Clark would play anybody at any time in any place.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think he would love to have that access to take a team and play at Georgia.
And if we expanded it to 16, if you don't like that idea, do we take the top two non-Power Four teams like a Tulane and a James Madison, and do we say, all right, you guys are going head-to-head this weekend before the playoffs get started, the winner gets the whatever seed in the college football playoff, where you're still competing, but it's one of those. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the other issue is, let's just be honest, I mean, the group of five, they do not play the same schedule as in Alabama.
No, they don't.
So, I mean, and we brought this up, James Madison played one Power Four opponent, and they lost by 2 touchdowns. And you saw what happened between Tulane and Ole Miss. You're going to get to see it again. So we will continue with the calls and your texts. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. Well, we've got a full bank of calls. We're going to get to as many calls as we can. Alex Golish coming up at the top of the hour. We'll see what the brand new coach of the Auburn Tigers has to say. I'm sure it'll be kind of a recap of what happened on National Signing Day last week. And he's rounding out his staff at Auburn. So we'll carry those comments live at the top of the hour. I'll admit I missed this. I'm just being honest to the listeners. But Memphis has a new head coach. Did you know this?
I do.
Already?
Yeah, Charles Huff.
Charles Huff.
Yeah, Southern Miss.
Yep. Where, he was at Alabama. He went to Marshall. And then he took, 75 players from Marshall?
Took a lot.
To Hattiesburg.
Had a good season.
And he parlayed that into now he's going on to Memphis. So, sitting here reading some publications in regards to who Southern Mississippi is going after. I mean, if you've ever been to Hattiesburg, they love their football.
Yeah.
It's a historic program, and they do a really good job.
Didn't they try to hire Kane Womack last year? Or wasn't that his name was in the mix?
I think his name was in the mix.
The mix, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of notable coaches that they've reached out to over the years that you would know.
So right now, there is talk that the interim, who is Blake Anderson, could be someone that they name as the head coach. Blake Anderson got his start there under Larry Fedora many, many years ago when Larry Fedora had a very good program there. But here's the reason I'm bringing this up. I'm just reading the story from footballscoop.com. There are additional candidates for this job besides Blake Anderson.
Oh, don't tell me one of these.
Just be quiet and let me read the story. Among them, sources tell Football Scoop, is former Ole Miss and most recently ex-Auburn head coach Hugh Freeze.
That's perfect.
Sources close to Freeze have shared in recent weeks that the veteran coach is itching to return to coaching sooner than later to show that whatever happened to doom his Auburn tenure isn't going to define him as a collegiate coach. Freeze was trying to get involved in the Memphis search as well before they named Huff as the head coach. I just find that interesting.
I do too.
That Hugh Freeze wants to coach again, and he's willing to take a job in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
I did not think that was the name you were going to say.
What name did you think? I thought you'd already read it.
No, I thought you were going to say Brett Favre.
Oh.
I'll give credit. I think that is commendable to Hugh Freeze because that tells me that he wants to go somewhere and prove that he still has something left in the tank.
Well, it's just surprising to me. I thought that I could see Hugh Freeze riding off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
You got plenty of time for golf, whatever else you and Jill want to do.
But he tried to get involved, because he was obviously has some history in the city of Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And so according to this article that he tried to get his name involved in the Memphis search, and they went the direction of Charles Huff. And so now he is trying to get the Southern Mississippi job. So Coach Hugh Freeze looking to coach again.
And it was not great, and he deserves criticism for some of the stuff on the field that happened at Auburn. But Hugh Freeze can still win football games. And Southern Miss, I think that they could do a lot worse than hiring him as their head coach.
I mean, I know it's, we all remember the troubles he had at Auburn. He did a great job at Liberty, for what it's worth. They won a lot of football
And
games.
he'll be able to recruit.
Yep.
He'll be able to find players, maybe get creative with a lack of NIL that's available.
My question would be, since Jackson Arnold announced he's going to enter the transfer portal, would he be interested in Southern Miss?
For some reason, I don't know if Jackson Arnold will be sending Christmas cards to Hugh Freeze.
Will he send them to Bo Wallace?
Probably.
I think that's more likely.
Bo, you warned me. I did it anyway.
I should have listened, Bo. I'm sorry.
But hey, he got about $2 million. Jackson Arnold did, so he's fine.
Yeah.
Does Calzada still have eligibility?
Surely not, right? Max Johnson does, apparently.
Let's go to Joe in Vestavia. He's been holding for a while. Joe joins us now. Hey, Joe.
Joe.
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good, Joe. Hope to see you tomorrow at Social Taco.
I hope to get there. I'm hoping. Hey, wanted to tell you, I felt like I was the only person out there that wanted a playoff for the group of 5. I guess it's soon to be group of 6,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it should happen. Look at our situation here with the Birmingham Bowl. The executive director and those good folks were put in a near impossible situation trying to convince a 5 and a 7 team to come. And who is it? Mark Meadows?
Yes.
Great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very
they
much
just
so.
had,
Those
I mean,
people
it was
work very hard.
impossible.
They do a good job.
Work very hard. Yes. No slight at them. But could you imagine if you had, say, maybe the 6 conference champions and 2 at large, and maybe the Birmingham Bowl host the semifinal or maybe the national championship game?
That would be
much better.
That would be fantastic. That would be wonderful. I just know, talking to a lot of people over my career, whether it was Jacksonville State winning a national championship under Bill Burgess, whether it was North Alabama winning national championships, that didn't take away from the fact that they weren't an FBS school, if that makes sense, or they weren't playing for the so-called big boy national championship. That did not take away from the fact that those teams were extremely talented and did a lot of good and honor to their universities by winning a national championship.
Yes, I agree. Agree with you 100%. I think that would be more exciting. It would give us more meaningful games in December instead of, what really has turned into an exhibition, and you don't know in those games who is going to opt out or not. And that's just what I was thinking. So I really appreciative of y'all carrying that banner. I think it really needs to happen.
I think you're right, and especially with this current situation, the debacle, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, Joe, for the phone call. This latest debacle with the bowls, something needs to be done with the bowls. I think we all admit we love the TV programming. We love it, when they kick off and have these bowl games. But based on what you saw yesterday and the problems trying to fill out these bowl slots, it's problematic.
Let's go to Derek in Birmingham. Hey, Derek.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I don't even know where to start, but I think Notre Dame would have got in. All they had to do was just join a conference, and that probably would eliminate Alabama. Even though I am a true Alabama fan, they didn't play hard like they did in the first time against Georgia. So if Notre Dame would have been a part of a conference, I think that would have possibly eliminated all doubt that Notre Dame should have been in it. But since they're independent, since they feel like they were better than everyone, they just didn't play a all-down schedule compared to Alabama. So that's why you give Alabama the nod, even though they lost their opener against Florida State and lost at home to Oklahoma, who's still in the playoff. You still give Alabama the nod because you would have never penalized them because they still had to claw their way to get to the SEC championship. That's my intake on the 12-team playoff. And another thing, it doesn't matter how many teams we go to. It could be 16, it could be 24. There's still always going to be one team that's always going to feel like that their team should be in the playoff. That debate is not going to end. It's going to continue for the rest of life.
Thank you very much, Derek. Maybe by extending it out, though, you don't get as much outrage with some of these teams whose spots got filled by the James Madison and Tulanes of the world.
Well, this time of year, you don't want to get caught in the cold, so schedule your system checkup now with a Trane Comfort Specialist. Trane's been recognized for 11 straight years as America's most trusted HVAC brand, and they are our exclusive home comfort partners right here at Jocks. Go visit them online at Trane.com to find a comfort specialist near you, and why we always say it's hard to stop a Trane.
Hang on, Dr. Mel, CC, and others waiting on hold. We'll get to your phone calls. Alex Golish's press conference from the plains of Auburn at the top of the hour. We'll carry it here on Jocks as we continue on this Monday.
It's 12:49. I want to remind everybody that the holiday sales event at Courtesy GMC is going on right now. And if you've been waiting for the right time to buy, well, the right time is right now. How big is this deal? It's real big. Try up to $15,000 off MSRP on Sierras in stock, and they've got over 100 to choose from right there on the 9.5-acre lot in Trussville, right off of I-459, exit 32. I'm talking AT4s, Denali's, SLTs, you name it. They've got it on the lot, ready to roll. If you're more of an SUV person, Courtesy GMC's got you covered there too. You could save thousands on brand new Yukons, Terrains, and Acadias. And then when you buy a brand new GMC from Courtesy, it comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. That's peace of mind for the long haul. So shop the huge selection now or check them out online at courtesybirmingham.com. Courtesy GMC, where the holiday sales event is on. The savings are real. In Trussville off of I-459, exit 32.
Other news from around the SEC. Pat mentioned it earlier, but Tennessee defensive coordinator Tim Banks is not expected to return, so there'll be a vacancy there. Interesting to see where Josh Heupel, Vols head coach, chooses to go there. Phone calls continue, 800-239-WJOX. Let's go to our friend Dr. Mel. Hey, Dr. Mel, how are you?
Hey, great. How are you guys today?
We're doing great.
Hey, Dr. Mel.
All right. Yeah, Landon, Pat, Molly, Conrad. You know, the Notre Dame situation, and matter of fact, I think last hour Landon mentioned, but I have a couple of comments in regards to Notre Dame. Number one, Landon, you need to call and make an appointment for the entire Notre Dame faculty to go to Mandu, lock them in for 24 hours, turn the power knob on high. Cry baby, cry baby, cry baby. Send them to Mandu. Take your football and run home. Look, if you want to be guaranteed a spot, you know, hey, win all of your games. At least lose one game. Number two, join a conference. And, you know, it's like the Lane Kiffin scenario, you know, you're going to have it. This is not Burger King. You can't have it your way. Grab your football and run home. And then my second pet peeve is that, and I said to Conrad, I have a strange idea of what their press conference may be tomorrow. I think their press conference, they may announce that they're forming a new football conglomerate. It will be called the Notre Dame Independent LLC. And the way it will work is that you send us an application and we'll decide if we're going to play with you, if we can sign the contract and make it fair on our end. Otherwise, no, we're out of there. What a bunch of whiners.
No doubt about it,
God bless
Dr.
you.
Mel.
Y'all keep up the great job. We'll see y'all on tomorrow.
All right, sounds good,
God
Dr.
bless
Mel.
you, Dr. Mel. Thank you.
A little bit of quick news as well over the hill in Sanford, and this is big, as you know, the new head coach.
John Gross.
Yep, John Gross has come on board, and a couple of familiar names are going to be on his staff. The quarterback coach is going to be Paul Tyson, former Hewitt-Trussville quarterback who played at Alabama, and then he transferred to Clemson. He was the first ever Clemson transfer that Dabo Swinney accepted out of the transfer portal.
But the move was to go and
to learn
under Dabo and that staff.
And guess who's going to be the wide receiver coach at Sanford? Drew Sweeney.
Oh, dear old daddy.
Dabo's son, who played wide receiver there.
Yeah.
At Clemson. He is going to be a wide receiver coach for John Gross there at Sanford, and Paul Tyson will be the quarterback coach.
Okay.
Not bad.
I'm thinking of the rest of that staff. I wonder, do we get Andrew Zhao? Do we get maybe Zhao's name mentioned? A lot of familiar folks. And Dabo's definitely having to make some moves there in that building.
Pat just likes it because Paul Tyson transferred to Arizona State for a little bit.
He did.
Yeah, the stories, I could tell you what I heard from there.
Lazy River wasn't so lazy.
No,
huh?
I mean, as soon as it came out of my mouth,
Yeah.
I knew you were going to go down a road because you got a sick
You
mind.
can't do that, Pat.
No, I was referring to the football operations building. I was not referring to the debauchery that goes on that campus that Conrad asks for videos of all the time when he texts me late at night.
Well, you send them to me, so.
Well, you ask.
Isn't that supposedly where one of those? It was a big deal in the 90s, early 2000s.
About what they led the country in?
GGW. Isn't that where that was originated?
I think, yeah. I think so. You remember those van trips you used to go on with?
Big bags of candy, no windows.
Conrad would always have his little handy cams.
Stop it. Can we go back to the Aaron Dolan stuff? That's way better than this.
Oh, Alex Golish addressing the media from Auburn gives us an update. Staff, signing class, and more. 3-man front on this Monday continues.